Indeed, this is definitely one of the classic games, and one of the reasons I got so interested in it was because Super Mario Brothers 3 is one that I love. So the randomizer, like you said, that we're going to be looking for is randomize the levels, randomize what could possibly happen. Also, hammers breaking locks is going to be something we're looking for. We'll kind of come to that here in a minute. A question from chat from Casual Gamer Dads: how long will the average rando race time be? With this being a group two, I would say anywhere from 30 to 37 minutes.
Yeah, anywhere, if it's a jet seat around 30 minutes, but especially with these talented runners here, we got Midi Guy DP in the upper left, Pro A007, DLP 316, and Human Mustard, all very accomplished runners. So we'll see how things go here. We got a World 4 start, and right off the bat, they got a coin chip that they got a free item from. DLP's gonna detour, go to the Mushroom House there, get him a Fire Flower, very nice. And it looks like our first forward is 5F2, at least on the right side. Biddy is stopping in 5F1. Not sure if there's a divergence or what there.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a little bit of divergence right off the bat, where Pro A and Human Mustard both saw the first Ford and said, I'm gonna go take it, and we're gonna get it going right off the bat." But many guys saw it and saw that there is a missing bridge on the left hand side, decided not to deal with the lock, and decided to take a gamble and go for the left fort. He was
Oh,
absolutely correct.
and what a gamble for a midi guy. Wow, gets the bridge right off the bat. So unfortunately for the other three runners, they'll have to go back to the fort and play it to unlock that bridge there.
Now this is going to be really interesting. Right off the bat, it looks like Midi Guy DP is way ahead of everybody else, and to some degree, he actually is. But with this, the only thing that matters is the very, very last level, which will always be Bowser's Castle. So until the giant Koopa falls, this game is anyone's.
Absolutely. I mean, it takes it takes a combination of luck and execution really to succeed here. There's a luck element with which fort you pick, as you've seen, but yeah, a lot of it's execution as well. With like, not taking deaths, not just playing levels as best you can. And ooh, that hitbox on Midi guy, unfortunate. So that's going to close the gap a bit right there, just like that. Unfortunate, but yeah, A can do that.
Incredibly so. And the hitbox that you're referring to, for some of our newer viewers, is that of the wonderful programming that we have from SMB3 is a little bit on the older side. So occasionally there is a little bit of a glitch, and some of them will be friendly. There'll be the clips and such that we'll see later on in levels like 7.1, 7.6, some of those if they'll come up. But then there are some that are unfriendly, and that is one that Midi Guy just ran into, where he jumps on top of Iggy, but instead of it coming out as damage like it's supposed to, it looks like, as far as I can tell, the game is trying to figure out exactly where it is. So it still thinks it's invincible, even though he pops out. So unfortunate damage there that set Midi Guy back just a little bit. He will still be in the lead by approximately 20 seconds, while DLP and Human Mustard both try to catch up. But unfortunately, not that level advantage that we had seen just prior to this.
Yeah, and just as you saw there, Mustard and DLP both took a hit from that hitbox. So yeah, they're both small Mario going to World 2 here. So real quick, what's your guess World 2?
I'm going to go ahead and take the guess of World 3. Let's get Wendy's World out of the way.
Well, not quite. We got World 5, the sky level here. We start on the ground half, and it's like 4F1 to start off with a bunch of fire enemies here.
Definitely a fun one to see. This is one of my, I'd say, least favorite enemy sets, because those fire chain chomps and the fire tails really love to follow you around that level and really make some of these quite complicated, honestly.
Yeah, they can be annoying for sure. So yeah, still relatively close race. Midi guy still has that slight edge from the right guess on the fortress there. Looks like the tower's gonna be required this time around.
Indeed. And the reason that it is required here is that the only way you can progress to the right side of the world here, it's all separated by a river is you have to defeat a fortress, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to defeat the fortress here, as the tower will take you up to the sky level. And of course, the only thing we're going for is that fortress or the castle at the end of the world, which will take us on to the next world. This is more or less an any percent run where we really don't care about all the levels. We just care about the last one.
Right. Now, as you can see on the ground half there, there is that blue fort there on the other island. So it's possible we may need to go back to that section to play that fortress. We'll see here shortly from MIDI guy. And ooh, well, there's three. Is there? Okay, there's two forts here. So yeah, they will need to go back down and be that blue fort to break the blue lock.
I think you're right, and that's going to be very interesting for our runners. They'll have to figure this out. Unfortunately for these runners, it appears that both fortresses will be required. So we're going to see a near 100% completion of this World 5. I think the only difference is they may not have to play one of the levels on the ground level. But we'll see that here in just a moment. I think MIDI Guy may be the first, unless somebody decides to go down and just get done with it real quick. But we'll see how this goes. Also look for a hammer. That could potentially help these guys out.
Yeah, it looks like right now we got DLP Mustard in 1-5 here, just working their way toward that other fortress. And unfortunately, it's gonna build a bridge on the ground half though, and not break that log. So, I mean, you have to do it either way though. So, I mean, probably all right, just get out of the way.
I think you're right. And I think the other thing that's really helpful to the guys here is that with the Boomerang Brothers, there's a good chance that a hammer could show up here. And Mew Mew fan, this is a group 2 stage, so we're not playing randomized or anything like that, as far as like a random percent. But this will be a hammer will break a lock if they choose to use it.
So it looks like on the sky half, the fortress is Air Force, and on the ground, well, I'm sorry, the ground half is Air Force, and the sky half Super Tank there. So yeah, Mustard getting the bad news there, beating that fort and not seeing that lock break. So yep, they will have to traverse back to the ground half. Oh, Mustard's got a hammer. Never mind. He might decide to break it. Let's see.
I think we're going to see a little bit of a change around because both DLP and Human Mustard did take out that hammer, bro. Whereas MIDI Guy, DP, and Pro A have to go to the bottom level. Now, we'll see if Pro A comes back and takes him on, that hammer brother. But right now, for MIDI Guy, that's an inaccessible hammer brother. That could be a huge key difference here between the two runners. Even if MIDI Guy gets it later, that's a hammer he can save for later. But if he doesn't go back and get it, that's going to cost him.
Yeah, for sure. Currently now DLP and Mustard are pretty much in sync right now as they complete World 2 here. So guess for next World Chat?
2.
I'm gonna take you to guess from last time and go free.
We have Dr. Trash Panda agreeing with you on 3. Mew Mew Fan and Cass. Hi, Cass. And Titus. Hi, Titus. Both going for World 7. So we'll see. Oh, I
There
was
you
right
go,
this
World
time.
2. Nice.
I'm never right. I like that. Looks like Human Mustard deciding to go ahead and play that first fortress, and it is World 8 Fortress, one of the longer ones here.
Yeah, so there is a pipe that's early that you can access right away, but as you can see on the second half there's a lock in front of the castle. So looks like DLP did have a hammer though, so it's gonna be a Quirk World 2 for him. I'm not sure Mustard it has a hammer now, or if he's saving it or what now.
I believe I've only seen one in his inventory thus far. Looks like he was going for a clip there. Might use the star to go ahead and clip through the bottom part. He'll force his way through, and of course not take any damage from those spikes. But I don't know if he was able to get either a second hammer off the Princess letter, or if he played a hammer brother that possibly gave it up. We'll see here in a moment with MIDI Guy.
Yeah, very nice star kill for Boom Boom there for Mustard. And it looks like the Princess has... It was Anchor, okay. So I don't believe Anchors can randomize to hammers, but they are a random item.
That's correct. I don't know that it can be a hammer like you said. So I am kind of curious where that one came from. If they were flipped, I almost wonder if the Hammer Brothers for DLP were backwards from the others.
Okay, so we got World 7 now up next. There's your World 7 Mew and Cass. So yeah, going to one pipe on the LP screen, I think it was a dead end, so this level is required, and this is a beta, correct? Yeah, this is the SMB3 beta.
We just received word from the fine folks at Speed Gaming that there is currently a Windows update that unfortunately has affected the game audio. So right now we're going over to generic audio, and they are working to get it fixed as soon as possible. But for now, please enjoy our melodious voices as we continue to commentate on this game.
So it looks like there's only one fort in World 7. You can tell because there is a 7-10 level, and that's not in vanilla. That's an extra level. So basically, how Fred programmed this, basically he swaps the fortresses out with levels like that. You know, whenever the fortresses are randomized. So that's sort of a way to tell there.
That actually took me quite a while to figure out. I wasn't aware of that until I think somebody explained it on a commentary stream, and I was like, wait, what? Looks
Yeah,
like MIDI.
Mustard ending World 7 now. Midi is about to join in shortly here, just taking care of Morton. And Pro not too far behind him, so still a relatively close race. Of course, DLP with those hammer strats is has a pretty comfortable lead right now. And he has found the Angry Sun level, the quicksand, but there is no Angry Sun, so yeah, that can happen in Randomizer.
Indeed, and the one place that you don't want to see the angry sun, you'll find it.
So Mustard has a hammer suit equipped. I'm not sure where he got it from, but if he can hold on to that, he can actually do some quick boom boom kills here. Never mind, he swapped to the tail, but for good reason, because there is a fly strat you can do. People, vanilla speedrunners do it all the time, as you can see. Very nice work with Mustard there.
And we just saw the same on DLP's screen. That is actually a lot trickier than it looks. If you try that, it's like 256 frames from the moment you jump to the moment your tail P-speed runs out and you can no longer use the fly. So that actually is really, really complicated, because if you get that wrong at all, you get hung up on an edge, you get caught on a corner, you're done. That's just instant death there, and you have to start over and then try to get that power up again. So very nicely done by both those runners that we saw it from.
Yeah, so DLP is playing this second Piranha stage here. He gets a music box out of it. Not too useful, but better than nothing, I suppose. Meanwhile, the other three are just trying to figure the way out of World 7 here. They probably found out that it's just one fort. It's just a matter of playing it and getting to the end here. Yeah, looks like DLP made some nice flying strats in World 6 airship there.
We don't see his heads-up display on the bottom here, but I think he went after a P-wing and is... Okay, no, I'm wrong. He actually just went for a regular tail. Looked like he was going to try to go for the off-screen one grab, but kind of ran out of time there for it.
Yeah, very tricky to do, but very nice fly strat from DLP there. So we got Midi finding his way to the castle. It looks like the lock is still there, though. I think he may have an extra hammer to break that. Not sure.
It seems like DLP's had quite a few hammers, and it sounded like he had one from last time still. So anybody's guess. I mean, he's had quite a few hammers so far, so it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, so Mustard putting that second Piranha to sleep and able to skip it, he's going to close the gap here a little bit on DLP. Pro currently near Sun level, Midi. Yeah, amazing. Okay, he's going back now. Okay, I guess he realized the lock was there, so he's still on the search for that fortress, and he finds it right away. So that's good.
World 7 is certainly a great equalizer for that reason. It's anybody's guess as to where the pipes go. You might get really lucky. You might have really exceptional routing, which puts you almost immediately on that third island. And then if you have a hammer, you're done, basically. And in this case, that was the case. There was also the possibility of a bridge needing to be built. Hammers do not do that in this game.
Yeah, so DLP finding a hand stage, and looks like we got mushrooms in there, so that means every hand stage in the randomized seed here will contain mushrooms. That basically once you find one, you know what all three of them have, so that's how that works.
We have a question in chat from Steven Jocker. It's, what is this category? This is a randomizer race. As far as like categories go, I best can describe it as an any percent no warp. We do not have warp whistles enabled, but everything else is randomized. From the enemies to the power-ups you get to even the placement of the worlds, it's all random.
Yeah, so DLP finding a pipe after that initial couple levels there. We'll see where it leads. Okay, so there's a lock. Does he have a hammer? Hard to tell because his inventory is not visible.
The other thing that might be interesting is where the second pipe goes. So he does find that it's in the rock. There are only 4 pipes in this World 6, but sometimes you forget where they are.
Yeah, so it looks like he does have a hammer, so that's going to save him a lot of time from having to guess which fort breaks that lock right there. So
Very possibly. I think the other thing we're going to be looking for are level 10s, because we've seen 2 fortresses so far. If there's the third one that's required because a bridge needs to be built, that'll be interesting.
yeah, it looks like we have 2 forts in World 6, possibly 3. We'll have to see. Yeah, Mustard making the same play, breaking that lock. So not too far away from DLP here.
I'm a little curious to see this strategy. Normally, my line of thinking through this is World 6 is a long one, so obviously if you can possibly break some locks and get through it very quickly, that's a really good way to do it. But it's also a little bit of a gamble, because if you don't see that second 10 level here in World 6, or if you don't see all the fortresses, then you're kind of in trouble if you get to the very end and find that a bridge needs to be built. In this case, it's not. They're going to be able to go through very quickly. But another place to use a hammer is also World 3, because we haven't seen that yet. And it could definitely be a quick one if you get to the end and it's only a lock that separates you from Windy.
Yeah, so unfortunately DLP took a death in 7-8, so this gap has closed down tremendously between DLP and Mustard here. Pretty much in the same bonus room right now. Mustard is going to check that big giant question block, and it is a hammer suit, so that's nice. But yeah, all of a sudden these races close now because due to the same plays and just yeah, better execution on Mustard's side there.
From chat, Mew Mew Fan just confirmed that the anchor is the Hammer Brothers suit, so that's going to be very interesting. We know that all the brothers on all the racers will have a hammer suit, at least from one of the letters. Now, whether or not they've used it so far, that's a different story, but they have had at least one, and typically that means it's a quick kill with Bowser as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty much in sync now to Mustard and DLP, so it's relatively close. We still have 2 more worlds to go for World 8, so anybody's game still. Proa is, I guess he doesn't have a hammer, unfortunately. He's in 7F2 right now. I don't think we've seen that on any of the other screens, so...
No, we haven't, and I'm actually very curious about this strategy because I glanced at his inventory right before he came in here. He equipped the tail, and he actually has 2 hammers. I don't know what he's doing here.
Oh, wow.
There is a small possibility that he may have forgotten it's a group 2 where hammers break locks. That does happen occasionally, with our players doing a lot of different runs, like brackets where we don't allow hammers to break locks. That maybe he's not remembered that, or maybe he just wants to protect it for going after a World 3 double rock break. We'll see.
Yeah, so if another death from DLP, unfortunately, Mustard did take the lead there, completing 5-4. So we have a World 3 here, and we got 2 initial levels to do before we get to any pipe checks here. Those extra hammers could actually come into play for Proa if he decides to double hammer and it pays off. We'll see here.
Yeah, definitely a possibility. He'll save himself from having to do a couple levels at the very least.
Yeah, so we have 1-1 now, but Boss Bass. Mustard DLP quickly taking care of him.
I'm very curious to see what this pipe is for human Mustard.
Looks like it did go to that lower section there, so unfortunately double hammer is not gonna be too useful. Maybe skip one level or two, but that's it.
I think the only thing that we could possibly be hoping for on Pro A's side at this point is possibly a cloud or something. But even then, with those two pipes, he'll find that out real quick, and that'll be two less levels he'll have to play. So, I mean, not a huge advantage, and unfortunately, he's running out of time to use those. We'll see if he decides to play a little bit riskier here quickly with those hammers.
Yeah, there's always Ward 8 too, because you can have locks in certain places, and breaking the right one could take it to the end. You never know.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I mean, unfortunately, with World 8, there's just not a really good place to do that unless all of the fortresses are attached to locks, which I don't know that I've ever seen that, but I guess it's possible. If it's a zero bridge route, then he could be well on his way to something very good.
Yeah, so we see one lock there, and that is going to be the one that goes to Windy on Mustard's screen there. So I'm not sure if he has another hammer to break that lock or not. That could be another advantage Pro A has. We'll see.
I think it's all going to come down to either A, does he get another hammer, or B, does he decide to go for the rocks? I mean, with only two levels separating the first pipe that you come to in World 3, I mean, it's kind of hard to make that gamble. But you only have two more worlds after this one, and one of them is certainly World 8, and I believe the other one's World 1. So going to be interesting to see how this plays out for him.
Yeah, so we'll see shortly if Mustard has a hammer here or not. And he does actually have a hammer. Nice.
I think the last question is, well, no, it's not going to be required because he just broke the lock that fortress was required on. So should be interesting. It looks like Human Mustard with a clear, distinct lead at this point. We'll see if those hammers come in play for anyone. I think at this point, though, almost a world behind exactly. It's going to be Proas to try to come back and win, and Human Mustard's to lose at this point.
Yeah, so we got Midi in the same boat here Mustard was in. He does break the lock, and he does have a cloud. He's going to use it? He is. Okay, so going to close the gap a bit on Mustard here. DLP is clearing levels to get to that fortress, apparently, so he's fortunately going to fall behind a bit, so as Midi takes second here.
I think this is a very clear case that you go ahead and use the hammer that you have on World 3. If our runners have been paying attention, they'll know that World 1 is at the end. And I don't mean that derogatory to the runners. They have a lot going on right here. But with World 1 being the last one, it's not a long world. So even if it's the worst possible outcome, it's still only going to take a couple minutes. I think you use the hammer here and then, in World 3, and then just play through World 1 as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so apparently Windy was free hits and heavy, but the arena you fight her in wasn't too difficult. Just her flat normal arena, so nothing too difficult to worry about.
Yeah, I know some runners will actually prefer Windy as an Earthquake Windy. It is supposed to help a little bit because she's more likely to jump instead of throw a ring as soon as she lands. So if you don't get the window quite right, as far as hitting her right when she comes out of her spin, then that is actually another chance for you to land on her instead of taking a ring to the face. So some runners do prefer that. I just don't prefer Windy. So.
Yeah, but Windy's she can be a tricky one. But yeah, unfortunately, Pro A doing the double hammer strat, fortunately, it's not going to pay off for him. So that might have been that advantage that he needed just to neutralize there.
Yeah, definitely. With this being such a quick seed so far, I mean, we're 24 minutes in, and Human Mustard is just 2 away from getting to the castle. Now he's 1 away. He decided to cloud that last level. We'll see what it is here maybe in a minute. But yeah, going to be interesting to see how this plays out. And in fact, I think, okay, no, DLP is just now finishing up World 3. I saw another airship. But yeah, it looks like Human Mustard has a clear, distinct win at this point.
Yeah, it looks like the World 1 layout, you do want to beat the fortress normally, 1F. You do not want to go for the item because that does save a couple levels there. So yeah, good play on their part. So We have Mustard being free F2 now. Mustard was able to cloud mini guy's level right now, 4-6. So that's going to extend his lead even further there.
Human Mustard utilizing the P-Speed strats for the most part here, making it look really easy and real quick. And I think he'll probably go for the item here at the end, just to give him a little bit of safety. It looked like Minikai decided to go ahead and use a hammer there, which I think is a good option. No, he did not. I apologize. He actually went through and beat the fortress. I feel like we're probably getting to the point where most hammers are out now, and we're just going to have to finish this the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, so I believe Pro is out of hammers at this point, so unfortunately he's going to have to beat that other fortress to break the lock he needs. But we do see Mustard entering World 8 now, so get your predictions in chat. How many bridges will we see on the final screen for Bowser's Castle?
An unfortunate death for DLP there. He had a little bit too much P-Speed and wasn't able to control it quite well enough, so he ended up taking a death in the spike room, which is highly unfortunate for him. And another death here as he was not able to get a jump input off there. I don't know if that was a controller or he was slipping through, but he'll have to play World 1 Fortress yet again, unfortunately.
And so it looks like it's Star Ward 8 here. There is an 8-2 that's required here, unless you can cloud it, of course. And it is a pyramid stage. So Mustard trying to duck under there. He finally gets it, though.
A sneaky little one-tile jump, but he does get it, as you said. Looks like Miniguy DP trying to join World 8 here in just moments, which he will do. And now it's time for a little bit of recon with some Human Mustard. We'll see what he decides to do here, kind of get a feel of the land, see if he can find Bowser real quick. And I think I'll make my prediction for one bridge.
Yeah, we do see one lock, so we know Free Bridges is out. Still working his way through the dark maze here. Checking, just doing his pipe checks. Ooh, we got the Navy stage, which is Navy, by the way. Fred.
A Fred is any level that appears as its icon or where it's supposed to be in the map. Dedicated to our beloved developer who put this randomizer together for us, and that is Fred Coughlin. He does a great job. We love Fred.
Hey, yeah, we got the Navy stage and we got the Air Force right next to it. We know it's not Air Force because we did see that earlier. So I think Mustard is going to clean both of these up just to unlock some new paths that he may potentially need here.
I'd be a little surprised if he doesn't go for all three of the fortresses here. It's almost like a Christmas party. You know, you just go ahead and open up all three, figure out what the forts are. The last one's protected by a hand level, so if it's not a actual fort and you get through the hand, you know, take a 100 coin fine, get out of there, and get back to what you were doing. So no big risk there to go ahead and figure out what the fort is. And, you know, definitely plenty of lives at this point. So we'll probably see one more fort here if there is one.
Yeah, there's actually two tank stages. So one tank is a fortress and one is a normal stage. So that's a possibility as well. It could be just a normal stage that won't break a lock or build a bridge. So
interesting. Well, it looks like Human Mustard must have heard you or something, because he is going to go back and actually find that it is a half bridge scenario. You don't necessarily have to build it if you can find the other pipe that leads to the other side of Bowser.
yeah, so actually Mustard is not playing this other tank stage here. He's just going to continue searching for the other pipe, so to avoid having to play the extra. Oh, interesting clip from DLP's side there with the War 4 airship. Never seen that one before. Yeah, looks like Mustard is playing the, is this the tank stage? 4F2?
No, he actually found the last fortress in the dark room. It's in the top right corner. Now, he will actually have to find the fortress that's required here, because the last pipe, we've seen all of them so far, the last pipe is in the L shape. So the second pipe that we saw in Bowser's Valley is not actually a pipe that is accessible. It's only to go to the first panel that's in the L at the top of the hand level. but he is able to find the bridge, so he was going to take on Bowser as Fire Mario. We'll see if we can get a fire kill here.
Nice, keeping the fire flower from the previous level there. Yeah, good strategy, especially when you don't have any in your inventory like that.
Beautiful top of the escalator clip from Human Mustard. He is looking to try to make this a 30, sub 30. We'll see if he gets it. It's going to be awfully close. I'm not sure if he can get there yet.
Maybe finding final screen, but finding the bad news there that he does need a bridge.
Human Mustard with a beautiful Bowser clip. I think that one's done.
Was that first try?
First try.
Wow.
He is on fire
Nice.
here. He is ready to be done.
I would say so. Let's see if he gets it done. 30 fireballs.
Pro A currently getting through 3 F2 here, seeing if he can do that very quickly. We have a little bit of divergence in the forts that are being played, but we'll see if we can get those through here pretty quick.
And Mustard does get it done, so get your GGs out in chat for Human Mustard here. Looks like he's going to be our first place finisher on stream here, and first place overall. Let's see what his time is, though. Looks like we got an official SRL time of 30 minutes and 27 seconds. GGs.
GG's for sure. That was outstanding. I mean, a 30-28 is exceptional in any seed, I would say. And I mean, this one seemed like it was definitely on the quicker side. I don't know if it's sub 30. I mean, maybe it is possible. You know, if you play it the first time, you don't have all the information, but maybe a second time you could. I don't know.
Yeah, we have Midi in the Bowser's Castle now, so it does not have a fire flower though. We have to beat Bowser the traditional way here. Yeah, a feather's not going to help too much there, so actually going the lower path. We'll see if he decides to clip or try to take it. Oh, nice clip on Midi, guys.
That was a beautiful clip. I was expecting him to go through possibly the fireball room, maybe go for that second item, but it looks like he is going to go for the old-fashioned don't touch me strategy. Bowser does not actually have a lower hitbox in this version, but then the Game Boy Advanced version and even our very own Cobra have actually just worked on that to make it possible.
Yeah, if I sort of fix his hitbox there in a separate patch, but we'll see if it's added eventually. We'll have to give a Fred on that one.
I was actually just about to ask that. I think that could be an interesting one to randomize. You know, see whether or not it's randomized a full hitbox for Bowser or not. Midi guy just finishing up here as well. We'll get you the official SRL time here in just one moment.
Yep, he'll be our second place finisher here. Looks like his time is going to be 32:15. GG's to Midi. Yeah, it looks like DLP unfortunately is playing those extra 2 forts on the hand bridge that Mustard played. So we know that these are not the gatekeepers. It's the 8 fort in the dark maze there.
Midi guy happy with his performance. He just posted a comment for us and said he was pretty happy with that. So well done on Midi guys. And I apologize. The GBA version was not patched by Macobra. He's good, but I mean, I suppose you probably could do that. No, the Nintendo company actually fixed the hitbox on the GBA version after they had remastered it for the Game Boy Advance. No, Macobra actually went in and fixed the coding so that when we play our randomizers and things like that, it actually has the correct Bowser on the Nintendo version that you see here.
Yeah, it's a DOP getting more bad news, unfortunately. At this point, Proa may have taken the lead from DLP here. Is this the gatekeeper for F2? I believe it was.
Yeah, it looks like DLP is following into the exact same fortress, which I believe you're correct, is 4F2. And that is the one that's needed, so I think you are absolutely correct. I think Pro A007 is about to find that Bowser is now open, and we're going to see him get here shortly if he can find the right pipe for it.
Yeah, it could be a race potentially. Could come down to close in Bowser's Castle between Pro A and DLP here. We'll have to see.
It looks like Pro 8 just went to the wrong. Okay, he did find the right pipe. I thought it was along the bottom. That was the one to the hand level. But looks like Pro 8 is first here. So, barring any deaths or mistakes, he is going to have to, or he is going to take the third place here.
Yeah, DLP right behind him, though. Like I said, it could come down to cliffs here. This would be interesting.
Indeed, any of the ones, Bowser clip, any escalator, top of the escalator clip, if either of them had gotten that could certainly be the difference between the two. And we are now joined in the commentary booth by Mini Guy DP. GG's.
GG. That was a fun one.
Overall, what did you think of that seed?
Pretty tame overall. There was not many places that threw me for a loop. We didn't see 7-5, we didn't see 6-6 or 5-9 or Atlantis for that matter. It was a pretty calm one overall. I was sort of been asking myself, where am I going to be using this hammer, and I kept hesitating because there was almost no point each time since the fortress was right next to where that lock would be, kind of thing. I didn't have to deviate from the main route to break the lock almost every time, based on what I've seen anyway.
It definitely felt like there was a lot of potential places to use the locks or the hammers to break locks, but I don't know. It seemed like from our perspective there was a lot of hammers coming out in just a lot of different places. So I think it's anybody's guess as to which the best one was to use. It made for an entertaining race, though, for sure.
Dang. I got two hammers. Were there more than two? Did I skip all the Hammer Brothers that had hammers for the most part?
I'm going to be completely honest, with all the hammers coming out, I'm not sure. I thought at one point we saw 3 from somebody, but I'd have to go back and watch and verify. Did you get the Hammer Brother in World 5 on the Sky Zone? I didn't know if he came back for you or not.
No, I didn't get that one. That was a hammer?
Yes, that's the one I hammer.
Yeah, I got the other two.
We are now joined by Human Mustard in the comms booth. Congratulations on a first place win. GG.
GG's.
Thank you.
GG.
It was an easy one, though. I mean, there wasn't really much. I'm like the master of dying in the first minute. I think this is the 5th weekly in a row I've died within the first minute or two.
I got hitboxed. Fine.
By the Fire Bros?
No, by Koopa. The Koopa kid.
Yeah, Iggy and water there. I think he got you and I'm gonna say Mustard or
We are now joined in the comms booth by Pro A as well. GG.
Thank you.
And Pro.
Thanks.
GG.
So yeah, a lot of hammers to go around for all of y'all. We sort of lost track of who had which hammers, but we saw some from Hammer Brothers and some from the Princess and whatnot. And so a lot of strategy came into play. Where to use your hammers? Pro A, were you was that your strategy? Sort of delay your hammer usage there and try to get on world free there?
I waited too long. Yeah, I only ended up with 2 hammers the whole seed. I was mostly ignoring Hammer Bros. Apparently that backfired. Yeah, I waited too long. I should have used them in Worlds 6 and 1, as it turns out. But that's the way it goes sometimes. And I was a little out of practice, but World 8 I did very well. That was the high point for me.
Yeah, I skipped a lot of the bros too. I'm surprised I got as many hammers as I did. My guess is I didn't hammer in World 2. I could see some people like skipping that fort and then wasting a hammer in World 2. I think that's kind of where I like pulled ahead a little bit.
Yeah, I did the same.
Yeah, a lot of the hammer plays I kept seeing was were like a lot of one stage skips at best, and I just kept thinking, oh well, there's got to be something better. There's got to be something better. World 1 would have been the good place to use it because that would have been 2 stages. But
was the fort in World 2 necessary? Because I did it right away.
Yeah, it was. I checked the map. It was right. It was right. It was forced.
Yep.
And we are also now joined by DLP. GG's.
GG.
Hey, thanks. How's it going? I played an extra level in 3 for sure.
Yep.
Then I couldn't clip at the end, and I kept dying in 1 fort. So that's seed went pretty good until then, but I think I could have used my hammers a little better. Like Proe said, there were places where it was like a 1 fort skip, but you might not be able to use it later, so it was kind of 50-50. I just decided to use it. I think that was fine. I think the routing error and just a couple unforced deaths is what caused me to fall so far behind, but that's how it goes sometimes.
I'm curious in World 8, that other pipe that you didn't have to do any forts, where was that? Did anybody get that?
I'm pretty sure that went to the L and the hand bridge.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the only place that I didn't go. So I played 2 of the forts on the hand bridge before I figured, wait, he finished with a 30-minute. He probably played that first fort, and that was it. So then I went back and played the regular fort, and yeah, that's what did it.
I did exactly the same thing. I played 2 on the hand bridge and then the regular fort.
Yeah, I actually
flying then.
I held off because I kept looking at the map because I'd seen 2 locks, and I thought, well, it's like, and I hadn't checked the top of the key at that point. I thought, well, maybe I usually play what's in front of me, but this time I thought, well, there's got to be some sort of way through this, especially given how most of the pipes in the dark area were interconnected. So I thought there had to be either something on the bridge, or it was all going to link into each other, and something was going to break that super tanks in the top left corner. So I kept playing through, and luckily 4F2 was gatekeeper, and once that happened, I felt that was good. That was the best thing I did all seed.
I think I might have sniped you at the very end if I would have gotten the clip sooner. It took me like 7 or 8 tries, and then it was just...
I had Fire Mario too, and managed to hold on to it. I went through the final room, and there were some nasty fireball setups. I actually crouched on a donut to let a fireball pass.
Nice.
Did anybody save the anchor for Bowser?
Yeah, I used it.
Yeah, same.
Used it very early.
When I saw that hammer too, I was like, "Aw."
I used it in World 7 after checking that first pipe, and like, okay, anchor is cloud. Come on, like, give it to me. And
yeah, I never use an anchor unless I'm like, it's before a level potentially that I can skip, because it seems like whenever you don't want it to be, it's a cloud. So
yeah,
usually what I try to do at least.
Indeed.
Yeah. You can never win.
Yeah. I'm gonna take off though. Thanks Speed Gaming for hosting, and all you guys for the races. GG's to Mustard and everyone else, and thanks a lot, guys. See you next time.
GG's, guys.
Oh, DLP, I did want to mention nice clip on the War 4 airship there. You don't see that one every day.
Yeah. That was when I was starting to kind of fall apart mentally, and then that kind of happened. I was like, oh, perfect. took the rhythm out, but yeah, it's all right.
But yeah, GG's to all the runners. We do want to mention that Animus United, the other racer that was not restreamed today, he rounded up the race tonight and finished in fifth with a time of 40 minutes 43 seconds here. So GG's to him.
GG.
So any final thoughts from either of y'all before we wrap things up here?
I'm just glad it was an easy seed. I've played probably about 10 seeds in the last 3 days, and I haven't gotten anything under a 37. So I'm just happy that it was like nice and easy, and really nowhere to mess up routing, and it was a fun game.
Yeah,
I just got up.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I had just gotten up, so it was nice to have something really tame to start the day with.
Yeah, I mean, pretty quick seed too with all the hammer usages there. Almost sub 30 from you, Mustard, actually. So not bad at all. And like you said, none of the troublesome levels like 7.5 or 6.6 or Atlantis, they all stay out of the way this time.
Yep.
But yeah, GG's to all y'all once again. If you like what you see here, folks, give these runners a follow and give us a follow too if you enjoy our lovely voices.
Except for the Dashi. Apparently he did not like our voices at all, which made me only a little sad, but I'll get over it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's gonna do it for us this afternoon. I'm McCover52, and joining me was Scrabble, and good race from all the runners today. And we hope to see you again in the next one. We're having our next weekly tomorrow night at 9 p.m. So be sure to check that out.
Absolutely. It's going to be another great run. A lot of different randomizers that get played here, brackets, group 2, group 1, a whole bunch of different stuff. So you can expect something different tomorrow. But one thing you can expect is it's going to be an exceptional run. We have some exceptional talent in the community. So definitely come out, watch that. It'll be on one of the speed gamings as well. But thank you so much for being a part today. We really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.
Take care, everybody.